and a 1 and a 2 and a what's going on, folks? Hey, it's BG, and we got a shop card here to celebrate. We got a card from our friend Chris over at the Sprue. We got the QR code down there that actually takes it to his webpage, where he has all sorts of articles. Every single thing we see on the page here, as a matter of fact, everything is written up and talked about in depth about the history of the kit, and I find that a wealth of knowledge. Now, there are people in our community that have a lot of model car history under their belt, and I'm happy to say that I'm friends with many of them. So when I have a question about something, I like to reach out to them, but I'm not always able to reach out to them because, well, they might be asleep, or they might not be home that day, or whatever. So it's always nice to know that I can go to the Sprue here and look up something if I have a question about it. Chris is really honestly doing us model car guys a huge favor by having all this documentation in writing and available online. So thank you very much for the shop card, Chris, and thank you also for the awesome words on the back of the card. That really meant a lot to us. And if you guys are wondering, he does have a YouTube channel, which is called The Model Car Review, which we'll have a link for down in the description below. So go say hi to Chris, tell him we sent you, and show him some subscriber love. But yeah, thank you again for the awesome card, Chris. Really, really appreciate that. And I gotta say, man, I've never seen that kit before. I'm very curious. I'm gonna go read about that here in a little bit. So thanks again, buddy, and hope you guys enjoy the video. Well, doggies, we got ourselves a bench update we need to get to and let you all know what we've been working on over the last couple of weeks, because we got a lot going on and no time to do it. So starting off with the Tamiya Nissan GTR, we're doing this as a commission build for a friend of ours, and here's the glossy box top there. We're working on that guy. Beautiful kit, awesome stuff, really good options and such in here. And it came with the detail up kit, so there's a photo etch in there, and we're working on that. Not very skilled with photo etch, however, we've been very, very lucky with this, and it's all flat, so that's great. We only had to bend up a little bit to go behind the steering wheel, and we'll show you that here as best we can. There's little paddles, flappy paddles that go behind the steering wheel there for the shifter, and those are really easy to bend up. The instructions are very, very clear on how to do all that, so that was cool. And we have the brake rotors. So we did some sanding on the brake rotors to try and put the lines in there that we would see on brake rotors. The client did have one stipulation. It calls for like metallic orange or something for the calipers. Didn't like that. Thought that was a little too flashy, so we went with a titanium gold. I like how that looks. I really like how it looks. And this cathedral thing here in the front's the radiators and intercoolers. You're going to see that through the grill, but we need to clean it up just a little bit. But everything's glued in place. We're ready to go. Bottom side looks good. I don't often hear that, but got two coats of color on there. Two coats of color on there. We want to do one more. It's TS76 mica silver. Really like how it's looking. It's laying down super good. We put that down over a flat black base. I cannot say that, not even one time. And it looks really good. So we're hoping to get this one more coat on there, get it all tied up, because there might be a thin spot here or there, but mainly it's because of the engine bay area. We haven't been focusing when we're spraying this, haven't been focusing on the engine bay area. We've just been focusing on not getting trash in the paint, and we haven't yet. So primer, let's see, yeah, 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of flat black, 2 thin coats, and then 2 thin coats of the silver on there. That's a lot of coats, and haven't had any trash in the paint yet because I've been using the Tamiya anti-static brush before each painting session. So I don't know if we're using the luck of the Irish, or if we're using the bats and charm, or whatever you want to call it, but this guy here is doing pretty well. Touch wood, as our British friends like to say. So that's coming along pretty nicely. Check out these wheels. The instructions said to take the chrome wheel and spray the Tamiya, oh gosh, I can't remember, I think it was TS70 smoke over the chrome wheel. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Because I was going to strip them and do them gunmetal. I'm liking how that looks. So thank you, Mr. Tamiya. That was a great idea. And the kit does have turned aluminum exhaust tips, so that's going to be awesome. It's going to be all exhausty, and we're going to move that out of the way, and we'll get back to you in just a second. Next up, we have War Machine, and we're building this one in honor of Chris Cortell for the Classic Plastic 101 Celebration of Life build that's being hosted by Kenny May. We haven't had a chance to get to this yet. As a matter of fact, let's see, this is Thursday. I think it was Tuesday. I actually had a chance to sit down and start going through the parts, clipping them off the tree and getting them sanded and such. We still got a little bit left to do on a lot of the stuff. And there is a lot of small bits in here, so we have all that sorted out. But we're upping the ante on this in the fashion of Chris Cortell himself, and we are adding in a lighting system so we can get the arc reactor on the chest, hopefully the eyes to glow, and then of course the repulsors inside the hands to glow too. So fingers crossed that all goes well. Looks like everything's fitting together really, really well. Just have to dress up where the seams would be on all the molds. And what's really cool is that because this guy is so hollow, it's going to be super easy to run wiring through there. Thing we need to do is pop a hole in the bottom, and away we go, because up here on top it's actually molded open, so we can trace wiring through there no problem. So we wanted to build this kind of in the fashion that Chris would do it himself, so hopefully we can have more updates on that as we go. Next up is the USAC build. So we got a couple of baggies here. One baggie is of bits that we probably won't use, but are going to go into the junkyard box. And then another baggie of bits that are going to be saved and used in other projects, because these are wheels and tires and they're mine, and I'm keeping those. But we have our little engine that we got from Josh that's tucked safely in here, so we don't lose track of that, because we have a problem with another kit that we'll get to in a second. But we have everybody glued up in white glue as a mock-up to see everything's going to fit, make sure that our engine's going to fit. So we're working on all that kind of stuff there. And then we were checking the ride height for our suspension setup. I think the stock suspension setup is probably going to be just fine. So the fit on this is actually pretty nice, even though this is an older version of the kit. I really like how it's fitting together, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So I'm not too worried about it right now, considering all the other stuff we have going on. So fingers crossed, right? And now on to the old Tom appreciation build. I have the shop card in here, so I'm like, I got a couple of these kits. I want to make sure I'm working on the right one, so I put old Tom's card in there. And if I pick up the wrong box and open it and don't see that scary clown in there, I'll know I got the wrong one. But this guy here, we're using an Iceman Collections engine. We're using the supercharged Ford flathead. That is killer, man. Bunch of chrome stuff, a lot of stuff on the tree here still, probably because we're not going to get around to using it right away. But we got the body sanded, and of course we have a color picked out for that. That means like about 90% of the hard part for me is done, because I got the paint figured out. Got our engine grafted to a transmission. I built this kit a long time ago. It didn't turn out very well, so I saved the engine transmission from it, and I went ahead and sliced that off that original engine, stuck it to the back of this. And I don't know, would you run a Ford flathead with a turbo hydromatic or whatever this is supposed to be? I don't know, but that's how we're doing it on this one. So, so doing it that way. And then we have all of our little baggies of parts and stuff that we have clipped off, and we have all cleaned up and ready to go, because each part is a model in itself, and it's a philosophy I think we need to be following if we're going to be building something in the style of what old Tom would be doing himself. So that's the whole point of the tribute build, is for me, is to try and build something along the lines of the way old Tom would do it himself. All right, on to the next. And now we're on to the Californian, which is for the Model Car Mafia group build for the Christmas build. We haven't made much progress other than just cleaning up parts. We did go ahead and white glue the engine all together. That looks really good. And then we also went ahead and white glued the transaxle and differential all together. So that's going to mount up there pretty good. It looks like it's going to go together pretty nicely. And we got a lot of great suggestions on how to help lower that front end down. And I was about to start tackling the suggestions when I did this mock-up in here, and I realized if we want to look at the lower rocker panels, the frame doesn't fit in there quite right. It seems like it's sitting a little high in the front. It's tucked up nicely in the back, but it's not in the front. So I'm led to believe that there might be something hanging up inside there that we can file or sand down. I'm going to start experimenting with that a little bit, see if we can't drop the body down better. Maybe we won't have to lower the front suspension then. But if that works to plan, great, awesome, cool. We're going gangbusters. If we lower this down and the engine tends to want to keep the hood open, well, I mean, I have a backup plan for that. It would be kind of fun to go and graft on a functional scoop. I say functional. Cut a hole in the hood, put a nice looking scoop on there. That might be kind of fun. I mean, wouldn't it? That wouldn't look so bad with a little scoop on there, like maybe a shaker style or something like that. That would break up all that yardage that's on there. But yeah, we're plugging away on that. But again, guys, thank you so much for all the suggestions on how to deal with that front end. I really am liking the idea of sanding or filing this little notch here. I'm not in center screen. This little notch right here, and trying to raise that up into the engine area, and then cutting the axles, and then epoxying them into place. Awesome idea. Probably going to be the way we're going to go anyway, but we want to see if we can get away with lowering the body down on the chassis a little bit more in the front there, because I do think there's sort of weird hang up there. And then there was one, and this is the Hot Rod street pickup truck kit we're doing for Mr. Blue Ox's street rod build. And we have him in white glue mock-up, and things are looking a lot better. We were kind of worried about how this is fitting together. Once we get him glued onto the chassis, he's going to fit a heck of a lot better. There's actually something in the way that's keeping him from fitting on there correctly. Don't like the sound of that, but there we go. There. So now that looks a heck of a lot better, right? And it turns out that the transparent pieces are one big lug of stuff, so that actually helps keep the roof from being squished down on one side or the other. So that's really good. That's a nice saving grace there. But yeah, we're just kind of shocked at that is wide. That is very, very wide. Usually frames don't they like narrow a little bit in the back there or something? But yeah, that is super wide. And as luck would have it, we were digging through some parts kits and stuff and came across. Remember last year's USAC build? Well, here we go. You'll recognize the rear end of that. This is the venerable exhaust, rear differential, drive shaft, all in one with the springs. And that actually fits almost perfectly on there in width. And the axle is narrower. Ding! So that could be a solution to our little problem back there, because slicing and grafting the axle back together, I'm not really looking forward to it. And I also got this really cool exhaust system already in there. No, I'm not going to use the exhaust system. That'd just be silly. But yeah, we will slice that off there. I do like the mufflers though. Those might find their way on there. But yeah, we're still working on that. But there is a problem. I mentioned this earlier. We had a really cool looking 572 cubic inch Chevy engine from Iceman. I don't know where it's at. I don't know what I rearranged the whole room and everything. It went on walkabout. I can't find it. Hopefully it comes back to us, and I don't know, maybe it comes back, it'll be all built and done. That would be cool, but luck never goes that way. So, all right, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in again. Thanks for all the support, the super kind comments. We're going to be getting those here pretty soon from the stash added from my uncle's collection. And again, you guys were very, very kind and very sweet. We really appreciate that. And we'll talk to you a little bit later on. Bye now. What the heck did I do with that engine? I'm going to have to tear the room apart again.